Welcome to Agenda Edina, a news program summarizing the actions taken at City Hall that affect you most. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty. The City of Edina continues to move toward developing more living streets. Living Streets balances the needs of motorists, pedestrians, bicyclists, and transit riders in a way that promotes safety and convenience, enhances economic vitality, creates opportunities for active living, and sustains the environment. Just over 2 years ago, the Edina City Council authorized the Edina Transportation Commission to draft a Living Streets policy and implementation plan. The City Council approved that policy in late August.
Living Streets is a vital part of our community because we can now walk, ride our bikes, and safely commute through our city.
Now, the transportation planner, Mark Nolan, will work with an advisory group to draft content for the Living Streets plan. The plan will address how the policy will be implemented with detail on street design, traffic calming tactics, bike facilities, landscaping and lighting, as well as best practices for community engagement during the design process. The city has retained a consulting firm to plan parking improvements in downtown Edina at 50th and France. Building off of work done in 2012 by Walker Parking, Kimley Horn will identify strategies for increasing the efficient use of parking spaces, determine appropriate streetscape improvements to update and unify the shopping area, study expansion options of the north ramp, including new commercial space on the street level, and study options for improving the south and middle ramps.
The issue of parking at 50th and France has been discussed for years, so there's been lots of comments that have been brought up in the last several years. However, despite that knowledge we have already, we're going to go even further. So we've asked the consultants to interview shoppers, to interview owners, employees, neighbors. There'll be on the street surveys. There'll be one-on-one focus group type survey groups. We really want to make sure that we have enough input so that we find the right solution, the best solution that allows us to achieve our goals here.
In addition to completing a feasibility study, the firm will develop design documents for priority repairs and lighting improvements to be completed yet this year. The maximum cost of the work will be $260,000, which will be assessed back to the commercial properties in the area. It is anticipated that if the feasibility study is approved, Kimley Horn would be hired again to prepare design documents so that the preferred solutions can be implemented and constructed in 2014 and 2015. A new housing development, Vernon Avenue Housing, is planned for Northwest Edina. The City Council recently approved the redevelopment of 3 lots located at 5109 to 5125 West 49th Street. The developer, Hunt Associates, plans to tear down the existing single-family home and 2 apartment buildings on the site and build a new 16-unit attached housing development. The properties total 1.43 acres in size, so the proposed density of the project will be 11 units per acre.
What it will bring to the community is low-maintenance living. Thus, people who live here can park their car, go away for the winter, not have to worry about anything. The association will take care of virtually everything. And when they're here, they'll be living in a community of 16 people, very close to a lot of great retail in the city of Edina, including Jerry's Supermarket.
The developer has 2 years to start construction. For the first time, Edina hosted the Minnesota State American Legion baseball tournament in early August. More than 4,000 people came to Edina as the top 16 teams in the state faced off. Edina 16's Dietrich Nissen stopped by the tournament to find out why the event plays an important role for military veterans as well as young baseball players.
Hands out there, 1, 2, 3, Edina!
With the State Legion tournament in Edina for the first time ever, the pressure was on for Edina's coach, Nick Kennedy.
You know, Legion baseball to me means a ton as far as the history, the veterans, it's what I grew up with. So to have it here for the first time at Braemar in Edina, where I grew up, and I think, you know, a lot of people in Edina have been here for 35 plus years, it's really, really special.
Roll it here!
Back in 1983, Edina became one of only 2 Minnesota teams to win the Legion's World Series, the other being Ridgefield. Kennedy says it's a feat this year's team hoped to match.
I think to win it, especially here on our home turf, would be something, you know, we would never ever forget about.
One plane will peel off and fly up to the heavens. That's called the missing man formation. And when they do that, they're doing that in honor of the young men and women who have given their lives in defense of our nation.
Aside from promoting America's national pastime, Legion Baseball State Director Mike Perry says the tournament helps reinstill American values and tradition.
They learn, respect for the flag, the American way, participation, code of conduct, fair competitiveness in a sporting environment, a little bit of Americanism as we call it, the respect for the veterans, the military, which Edina's done a great job of highlighting this weekend.
Read home! This tournament provides Edina with a great opportunity to showcase itself because we're bringing all these teams from outstate here.
And although Edina didn't make it to the championship game, Kennedy says these players' talent is so high, winning can really be up to chance.
Team's got to be lucky who's hot. It is what it is. As long as we compete and give it our best, that's all you can ask for these kids.
At Braemar Fields in Edina, Dietrich Nissen, Edina 16.
Eden Prairie beat Burnsville for the state championship, and both teams went on to the regional tournament in Fargo, North Dakota. With 301 teams, Minnesota has the second largest American Legion baseball program in the country, behind Pennsylvania. Thanks for watching this episode of Agenda Edina. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty.